Welcome to the Growth Drivers Podcast. This is the show where we share the real strategies, the scripts, and systems that we're winning in today's market when most agents are struggling.
If you're tired of listings sitting too long, buyers losing out on homes they love, or wondering which renovations actually move the needle, you're in the right place. We're Mike and Rachael Novak, and we've sold over $900 million in real estate. And today, we're still in the trenches and leading a team in one of the toughest markets in the country.
Every week, we break down what's actually working right now, from pricing strategies that get homes sold to offer tactics that win in multiple offer situations.
Let's get into it. All right. And we are back with Growth Drivers Podcast, Mike and Rachael Novak. We are talking today. This is going to be kind of a spring specific and listing specific podcast today. But it's essentially like what we would do, like what I would prioritize if I was looking to get my home on the market in the next 30 days or less. Okay. So what happens is, as we move into the spring market, every single year this happens. We get calls from people and they're like, hey, I want to list my house. I want to go on the market next week. And we kind of go, okay, cool. Like I'm, obviously excited to chat with you about it, but let's pump the brakes. And there's typically a laundry list of items that we need to address in order to actually get a good ROI, right? To maximize the amount of equity that we can pull from the house, get the highest sale price possible. And so many people will call or they'll email, whatever, and they'll be ready to list right now, or they think that they're ready to list right now. And so sometimes they get a little bit discouraged or a little bit disappointed when we then go over to their home and say, oh, actually, like we need to do kind of a home editing checklist. We need to create this list of things that actually need to get done to the home so that we can maximize the sale price. Because that's the goal, right? The highest amount of money possible for the house.
So this is, just to be clear with people, we've got 30 days to prepare the property.
Correct.
Not 30 days necessarily to bring it to the market and get under contract, right?
It's 30. I have 30 days before, like I want to get my house on the market, ready to sell, for buyers to walk through.
Right.
Yep,
okay.
Exactly.
And that's like fast in our world.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
We should unpack that for people. Rushing your home to the market is rarely the best idea, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you cut corners, if you take shortcuts, if you don't prepare your home properly, it is always going to be detected by the markets. Like you never get away with it.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people think. Like, okay, well, I've done these updates, and I've wiped down the counters, and tucked away the mail, and cleaned the toilets, and like it's ready to go. And that's really not the case. Like how a home is presented in order to get the highest sale price possible is very, very different from how we live in it. Right. So we've kind of broken this down like week by week. And this, in my opinion, this would be alongside working with your agent to help prepare it for the market, okay? So you want to bring your agent in so that they can customize this list specifically to your home. If there's anything specifically else that needs to be done, this is kind of a general list of what to address week to week if you're wanting to get it on the market in the next 30 days. Okay, so this is a general one. So what to start preparing. We're going to talk week by week. Number one, week one are the non-negotiables. Like if you skip these things, literally nothing else that you do matters because these are so incredibly important. And number one of week one is deep clean everything. And I'm talking like deep cleaning everything. I would recommend, if you can, bring professional cleaners in to clean every single surface,
Don't do this yourself.
No, it's very time consuming, but I'm talking baseboards, mantles, windowsills, every single, HVAC register, your intake, grate, every single thing, every light fixture, every surround on every light bulb, every single thing in your house needs to be deep cleaned. You need to be scraping the caulking around the toilet and the sinks and the shower, like cleaning deep cleaning every single thing you can even think about, because buyers want move-in ready. They want it deep clean.
What does that cost usually?
So if we're going like as super, super detailed, depending on the size of home, you're probably starting in like the 450, 500 range for a super deep clean. And it can be more, of course, depending on the level of detail they do. If they're doing the inside windows, if they're doing window tracks, slider door tracks, inside of appliances. And these are all things that need to be done. Right? You need to touch all those areas that you wouldn't necessarily normally touch on a weekly light cleaning when you're living there. But a dirty home, like any little spot that if a buyer were to walk through and see dirt in the window tracks, or they open the oven and the inside window door is filthy and the bottom of the oven is super filthy, like that signals to buyers that you may have cut corners elsewhere, and it drops the perception of value that you have in the marketplace. So deep cleaning is like number one, okay? And yes, we're going to go still living in the home for several more weeks or months. So now you have to maintain it, right? But that initial deep clean is so, so, so important, okay? Number 2 is decluttering. And I'm talking like aggressively decluttering, not like getting rid of the extra little things and leaving a bunch of knickknacks. I'm talking like clearing horizontal surfaces, clearing the mantle in your house, removing every single item from the top of your cabinets in the kitchen, all those places, like even the fridge, nothing on the top of your fridge, remove all the magnets from your fridge, getting it almost boringly clean and clear everywhere, right? Removing minimum 50% of your stuff everywhere. Rent a storage unit if you need to. Box it up and put it in the garage if you need to. But if your stuff, if you've got knickknacks, if you've got, storage things on the top of the cabinets in the kitchen, like buyers can't picture their life in the house if your stuff is everywhere and there's, clutter on all these horizontal surfaces. And the last thing, for sure, for this week, is fixing small repairs. And this would go along with performing like a pre-inspection. And for most of our clients, this is what we recommend doing. So week 1 of this 30-day countdown, getting ready to list the house, having a pre-inspection done, and that kind of gives you a checklist of items to address, small little repairs to do, small tiny little leaks in the sinks that you didn't know existed, or small cracks in the drywall that you couldn't see, or hairline fracture, whatever, those kinds of things. Every little thing that you have seen, that you've dealt with for years, that you hardly even notice anymore living there, it's time to take an objective look and address all of those items.
Yeah, back to the, depersonalization. I showed a house the other day, like a $1.5 million house to a buyer of mine. There was at least 35 enormous photos of this family in this house.
So how did that make your buyers feel?
Weird.
Yeah.
Like, it was a beautiful family, but it was just like, this is really weird.
Yeah. Well, because what it does, like psychologically,
they couldn't stop looking at it.
Exactly. Well, because what happens psychologically is the buyer is going in this house and like you've got these faces on the walls looking at you, and you're like, oh my goodness, like I'm invading these people's home.
Right.
Right. Like that's subconsciously what that does. So removing all of the pictures of your family, removing religious references, removing, anything that would be super personal is also very important, along with the decluttering, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. And I think on the pre-inspection thing, you're almost like rolling the dice as a seller right now if you don't do that. And this guidance varies from market to market. But in our current market, I think the compelling reasons to do this is to know, of course, if there is any issues before you bring them home to the market so you can fix them. And then ultimately, hopefully negotiate a much stronger contract with the buyer that doesn't include an inspection contingency. We've done other podcasts talking about why contracts are falling apart right now at really high rates. And so it's kind of like just a cheap insurance policy to make sure, like, hey, the deal's going to stick together. No, not going to have any big surprises. It's like $500. Do it.
Exactly. Yep.
Like I recommend to all my clients right now.
Exactly. So that's week 1, guys. Like this is kind of like the preparation for the rest of the preparation, like getting the deep clean, getting stuff out of the house, like getting that pre-inspection, having kind of a checklist of all these little repairs that really should be addressed that you buyers aren't going to want to deal with. Okay. That's kind of week 1. And it doesn't sound like a huge list, but trust me, that's a lot of stuff to do. Okay. As we move into week 2, now that we've decluttered, now that we have kind of our checklist of things for the inspection, now that we've deep cleaned everything and can actually see, okay, what needs to really be done, now we can implement some quick, high ROI wins. Okay. And what I mean by that is things that are going to cost you a little upfront, and they're going to make a big difference in the perception of value and the sale price when you actually hit the market. Okay. So number 1, by far, one of the biggest ROIs that you're ever going to have is freshening up the paint on the inside of the house. So fresh, neutral paint. If you have kids and they wanted to customize their rooms and you've got a blue room and a pink room and a purple room, like it's time to make those neutral. Like love your kids. They're amazing. I'm sure their rooms are darling and their cute posters and their stars on the ceiling are everywhere. Pull all of that down, neutralize the color in the room, paint it like a nice agreeable gray. Sherwin-Williams is one of my favorites, or just a pure white, okay? Make it very, very neutral.
One of the mistakes I see buyer or sellers make with this is they paint the ceiling like a white color and they paint the walls like gray, which is really cool and has a very high-end feel, but it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That requires a whole other level of preparation for the painter to mask those lines and cut those lines in.
You explain
and
that a
it's
little
not
bit?
going to come back. Like if you look at what builders do, in our market, builders don't do that unless it's north of like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
In certain places, like north of $1.5 million, they just paint the same color everywhere.
Exactly.
It's just so much faster, which is so much cheaper.
Right. Because what happens, like you're saying, is it creates so much work for the painters to have to cut in the lines between the top of the wall and the ceiling. And if there's any imperfections in the execution of the paint on either side, it's immediately visible.
Right.
So it looks sloppy.
It takes a long time to
Totally.
do it. And because it takes a long time, it's expensive. Like that can probably shave 30 to 40% off your interior paint bill by just doing that one thing or not doing that one thing.
Yeah, so just doing all one color.
Just do all one color.
And that's what we've done in the majority of like the remodels or cosmetic updates that we've done with our clients is honestly just a white wall with a white ceiling. Like, yes, it's boring to live in for sure, but creating that neutral space, like that is the fastest visual transformation that you can make for buyers to come in and say, oh, it's a total clean slate, right? For sure. The next high ROI and quick win would be updating any like light fixtures. So bathroom fixtures, especially if maybe you bought kind of a builder grade home and they have like the kind of old, just nickel, plain flower bud kind of looking, sconces above the bathroom, the sink lights, like updating those so they're a little bit more modern. You can get light fixtures as cheap as $50 or $60 on Amazon even, or Home Depot. And have an electrician come do all those in one trip. Very inexpensive. You can pay $500, $600 for the install plus a couple of those light fixtures. And that just instantly updates a bathroom. That instantly updates a bedroom if you've got, sconces on the wall. So very easy, very inexpensive update that will totally transform the space very quickly. And then the last one on week 2, very important one, carpets. Okay. The age of offering a carpet credit are long dead. Long dead. Nobody is going to see a high level of value in a home that needs new flooring from the get-go. What will cost you, like say you've got 3 bedrooms that all need new carpets, or they need to at least minimum be professionally cleaned, okay? A professional cleaning on 3-bedroom carpet, probably somewhere in the $400 or $500 range. New carpet is probably somewhere in the $2,500 to $2,500 range for those 3 bedrooms. A buyer will walk in, and if even one bedroom has a stain, has a rip, has a tear, has something that they would think that needs to be replaced, that's $10,000 off the purchase price. Okay, This is a very easy ROI, very easy return on your investment because buyers will notice those floors. They're looking for those things in the floors.
Right. Notice too on the light fixtures, we didn't say plumbing fixtures. I get asked that question a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pretty low ROI upgrade.
Yeah,
People
agreed.
don't even really notice it.
It's so true. Like the sink fixtures, the only one sometimes, and this is totally customized, totally dependent on the home and the sink and the layout, is a kitchen faucet sink. Not the sink, the kitchen faucet itself.
Yes.
That would maybe be the only thing that I would swap if it were like that really older, super cheap, just kind of single faucet that doesn't have like an extender, kind of like an extender hose. Might be the only thing that I would suggest. But again, that's a case-by-case basis for sure. Okay. So it's the first 2 weeks. So now you've got your checklist. You've done some really quick high ROI, adjustments. You've put a little paint in, you've decluttered everything, you've changed out a couple of light fixtures, you've made sure to schedule clean the carpets or schedule the replacement of the carpets. Okay, now week 3, now we've got to go outside. Okay, we've got to talk about curb appeal. What are the quickest things, the easiest things to get done that are going to have a high ROI? Because you only get one chance for buyers to walk up. And I don't know the exact statistic, but it's somewhere in the range of buyer walks up and within 7 seconds makes a determination whether or not this house feels like it could be the right one. And curb appeal has everything to do with this, okay? Then they go inside and it's a whole nother ball of feelings for them, okay? So number one, for curb appeal, you've got to power wash. You've got to power wash your steps, your walkway, even potentially your driveway. If it's covered in moss, if it's covered in old stains, if it's covered in, growth, overgrowth, it's not going to look crisp. It's not going to look clean. It's going to look old. It's going to look dated. Okay.
Gutter lines are another one I'd mention.
Yes. So gutter lines, I was also going to say siding, right? If you've got, say you had your home painted 5 years ago and it looks great, but you've kind of got this mildewy look, or you've got, kind of some, whatever from the wind that has just made it look kind of dull. Get that thing power wash, like pressure wash that thing.
I do want to warn people, do not pressure wash your roof.
Correct.
You will take years off your roof by doing that. If there's moss on your roof, use a moss treatment or hire a moss treatment company to come handle it. But I've seen people literally ruin their roofs by pressure washing them.
Yep.
It blows the asphalt shingles like literally apart.
Yep. That's a great point. So you're pressure washing everything: driveway, walkways, siding, not the roof, but gutters. Yes. Yeah. All right. In regards to actual landscaping, having any existing garden beds kind of trimmed out, so refreshed with, weed whacking, trimming out the side of the yard, and then fresh mulch. I always suggest as dark of a mulch as you possibly can. Don't do a really light mulch. Make a contrast. You want the gardens to have a contrast to the grass. If you have an area of grass that's really dead, so I've even had sometimes the gardeners go in who are doing like a landscape trim, create another little garden bed in there, put one little inexpensive bush in the middle of it, and boom, now you've got like a really fresh looking yard. So fresh mulch, trimmed landscaping, super important. It can be very inexpensive, but it looks clean, it looks simple, it looks well cared for. And that's, again, the first thing the buyers see when they come up. And if that looks cared for, that's a great sign. That's the initial perception of value for them to say, oh, this home is obviously well maintained. They care so much, even their yard looks nice. Okay, so very important. And then last thing with the curb appeal, front doors. This one is so often overlooked. There are so many people that have like these really like decent front doors, but they are some just totally bland color or faded because it's in the sun, half of the day for years and years and years. And one of the easiest things to do to create great curb appeal is just repaint the front door. Have it repainted. I'm telling you, you can do this.
What are your favorite colors? Like, I know you have your styling guide, but what are your favorite colors?
This is an interesting question because this is completely dependent. I tend to like a darker front door on lighter homes, so like a black front door, something really bold. Most recently, actually, we did to kind of tie in the inside and the outside. I had my clients, they did all cabinet painting. So literally on this house, it's currently on the market. We just listed last week. They did a full remodel. So we did paint everywhere. We did trim and doors, paint everywhere. And then they painted all the cabinets, so kitchen and bathrooms. And they did a really nice kind of sage color lower cabinet and white uppers, which just made it look really nice, really fresh, very modern. And what we actually did was we painted the front door that same sage color. So when you walk up to it, one, it looks really cool. The house is white, so it's got a nice contrast. But then you go inside and it's got a ton of congruency between the front door and the kitchen. Yeah. So that felt really nice. That looked really good. So,
I like black. I like bold red, and I like that like bold royal blue color. You know the one I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yep.
Those three really pop to me.
Yeah, I think red is in my opinion, cliche. Like, it looks really nice, but it's kind of like that really classic, like red front door, like a farmhouse kind of red front door. So you don't see it quite as much. There's a lot of like greens and blues that have come in that are very popular. But again, kind of depends on the actual house itself, the style of the house, the neighborhood, all that. But those are kind of week 3, like how to really address the curb appeal, what specifically to do. Power wash everything except the roof. Trim up the landscaping, put brand new mulch, dark colored mulch in the garden beds, and get that front door upgrade. Either a new door or repaint it, make it look nice and crisp, okay? Now, with 1 week left to get this baby really ready for the market, we've done all of these things. We have decluttered. We have cleaned everything very, very, very deeply. We have now maintained it. We've removed personal items. We've done these little repairs. We've had all these contractors coming through doing all these things. This week is a preparation week, and this should be working in tandem with your agent, okay? So the week prior to actually listing your home, and this is market dependent because some markets you can do the coming soon phase, and ours has to be totally ready before we hit the market. But getting professional staging done. And by professional staging, I don't necessarily mean bringing in furniture unless it's a vacant home, but I mean arranging your furniture, getting a professional consultation with how to arrange furniture in each room, if there's any other furniture that needs to come out to make the rooms look bigger, because staged homes sell for more money, period. Because you are giving the buyers the exact blueprint, the framework of how the home could look. You're selling the lifestyle of this home, and that's what buyers need to see.
I think it's not just how it looks, it's how it feels when you go into it. Like, how does this feel?
Yeah. So one of the best explanations that I love to give, and I have a strategy guide coming out here in the next couple of weeks that you can grab for super cheap, like $7. And I explain this in detail, all of these things in detail in the strategy guide. But I kind of explain it like, man, if I were to go to a Broadway show, right? Say we're going to go to a beautiful Broadway show, and this actor comes out on stage and they're in their street clothes and they don't have any makeup on, but their acting is really good, right? That's going to be an okay performance, right? They've acted the part of this character, but they don't really look the part. They look still modern, and they don't have they're not really in character. You know what I mean? So you're like, okay, well, they're a good actor, but like there was kind of something missing, the loss of something here. Whereas if a Broadway actor comes out, they are in absolutely like full character dress. Their makeup is completely on point, and it's caked on, but under those lights, you can see the details. You can see the detail on their face. They've just stepped into this character in every possible way, right? With the makeup and the hair and the clothing and all this, and they're a great actor. It's like, man, I believed that person. That person was so in character. Like, that's exactly what we do with a staging in a home, right? These actors are going on stage to play a role. These homes are getting staged to play a role. We are literally marketing and selling this lifestyle of this property and giving the buyers that idea of what is possible, selling the space. So staging is way more important, I think, than people give it credit for.
Yeah, no, it's
Does that
huge.
make
I mean,
sense?
we sold our personal house last year, and it was expensive to stage. It wasn't like $8,000 or $10,000.
Yes, it's $8,000. Yep.
And the home sold in like 16 days, all cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it really looked amazing. It was one of the best presentations I'd seen of a home in that area.
And like, had our furniture been there, it would have been fine, but it would have had a less polished look, right? It wasn't like a professional makeup job, right? So that's kind of my point, is like, you don't necessarily need to bring in all different furniture like we did for our house last year, but like, you do need to have a consultation of some kind. Like, a lot of professional stagers, myself included, will come in and just do consultations and tell you how to arrange the furniture, right? And if you don't want to spend a couple $1,000s, or your agent isn't able to, or whatever, like that is an option to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And in full transparency, sometimes agents will, be able to offer staging in their overall package that they give you as a seller. Like, they might increase their commissions to, cover that cost, or you may have to pay that direct as the seller. That's going to be like agent, depending on what they are comfortable doing, because it's a big upfront investment for them to take on.
Exactly. But if we know that, a staged home sells for 3 or 4% more than non-staged homes.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
It's literally a no-brainer. It pays for itself and pays your agent. Like, it's literally a no-brainer. So
yeah, everyone does better for sure.
Exactly.
A lot of our sellers are like shocked when they see their home vacant, and then when they see it fully staged by our team, like, it looks shocking to them.
Well, and again, like, we are, like, the point of staging is to sell that lifestyle, is to create this perception of value that is much higher than just the empty home sitting there itself. And it works every time. So the other part, of course, is professional photography. No joke. I sent a list of homes to a new family that I'm working with who are going to be moving up here from a different state. And as I'm looking through some of the homes that I'm sending them and looking through these photos, no joke, I hadn't seen this in years. One of the bathroom photos had the agent with their phone in the mirror taking a picture of the bathroom.
What was the price point of that home? So
it was like $900.
Right. Not that it's excusable at any price point. I'm just curious.
It's not, but like $900,000 home, and I've got the agent with his iPhone taking a picture of the bathroom. Guys, like, guess that I don't even remember what the bathroom looked like. All I was staring at was that guy in the mirror. So like, professional photography is so key. Again, these photos live online forever with this house, right? Like, they will be online for everybody to see. And if you are not selling the home itself, and you are showing up in the mirrors, or if your angles are bad, or if you are getting a weird, viewpoint of the room, making the room look super skinny or really, too big or too spread, whatever it is, it's not going to convey well. It's not going to compel buyers online to come see the home. So like those professional photos that you have done by a real estate photographer are so important, because almost 100%, I would almost say almost 100% now, buyers start online. Like that's where we see houses first.
I always tell my sellers that the first showing doesn't happen in person. It happens when they see it online. Because
exactly.
There's just so much more information available on the homes now online than there was like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So buyers are super savvy when it comes to looking at homes digitally, and they will go through it with a really fine-tooth comb. But when they look at the photos, they do make a pretty snap decision, like in about 2 or 3 seconds. In the first photo or 2 or 3, do I want to see more or not?
Mm-hmm.
And so if the pictures don't pull them in right away, they just move on to that next listing.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not just the quality of the photos, the angles of the photos, but the staging within the photos, right? Giving identity to each room that they see. So, like to your point, when you've got bad photos, like as a savvy buyer, obviously, and as a savvy agent, I unfortunately know that like because those are bad photos, that might be a good opportunity to go see that house, because it's likely it's not getting a lot of traffic. But the ones that we see with great photos that are well presented, like those ones can get competitive because like they're compelling a lot of people to go see it.
I would say about a third of the time I go on appointments where a listing didn't sell, the photos are the culprit.
Interesting. A third.
About a third.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's a huge amount. The other 2/3, there's another third that's price. Like they didn't position the home price correctly, and they didn't go through all these presentation components that we're now going over with you. So price, presentation,
absolutely.
Positioning, those 3 things.
Exactly. So, so the whole point of this was to show you guys kind of like, okay, what is the state? What are the stages of things that I need to do to address? And again, like I mentioned, super important that if you're working with an agent, you're not calling them up saying, hey, I want to list next week. Like, one, listen to this, come prepared. If you've done a lot of these things, awesome. But make sure that you're bringing somebody in with a professional eye, somebody in who can give you kind of more customized, specific advice. Like we, with our clients, literally walk through the home, give them a room by room, specific checklist on exactly what to do in every single room from top to bottom. So there aren't any questions. There is no guessing. You're literally working off of a checklist for those couple of weeks leading up to getting on the market. So very, very important. And if you're an agent listening to this, do that. Like offer that to your clients. Make sure your clients in your pipeline, they know when to get you involved, because that's super, super important. That preparation is so key in order to generate activity early with the listing, because you don't get another opportunity to have a first impression on the market. Once you go live on the market, you've got to have nailed price, you've got to nail condition, you've got to nail presentation. Like those are all super important things. So if you're able to plan ahead with this, working alongside with your agent, get these things done in this order, be prepared to do that, and you're going to have better outcomes.
Yeah, no, it's a great list.
All right, guys. Well, that's what we got for you today. If you have any questions or did we miss anything? If we missed anything at all, hit us up on Instagram. I'm actually curious to know. You can find me at Rachael Novak.
Or at Real Mike Novak too. And if there's questions that you have about real estate, whether you're a buyer, seller, agent, feel free to comment on those and let us know what they are, or direct message them to us. And if there's something that we think might resonate with like a larger audience, that's not just like a unique one-off situation, we may consider talking about it and putting it onto a podcast topic in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally doing a Q&A. All right, awesome guys. Well, we will see you next time. That's a wrap on today's episode of Growth Drivers.
If you found value in this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a fellow entrepreneur.
For more insights, tools, and resources, visit us at thewarrioragent.com.
Keep pushing forward, keep leading with purpose, and we'll see you next time.